All right, so we got Kev in the building, and we going with Common new project. I'm gonna let him jump in first because he deep in the street when it comes to this underground type sound. And not saying that this is not mainstream because it definitely is mainstream. They did all the Hot 97s, the Power 105 Breakfast Club. They did it all. They went to LA and did that. They did the Big Texas, so they did a bunch of trying to promote this project. So, Kev, give us your understanding and information on Auditorium Volume One.
I've said it before, and I'll keep saying it again. I'll push for one rapper, one DJ to do a whole album together because I think that when you get into that studio, you get to that vibe, you can just create moments. You know what I mean? And it's something special with that. We just saw Nas just do what he went 3 years, 6 albums in 3 years, which uh is incredible, and it's something that's damn near hard. It's unheard of in a large scale when you really think about it. And he pulled out a Grammy out of that. You know what I'm saying? All this work he did with Hit Boy. So I'm not saying Common is going to win a Grammy, but just the fact that Common and Pete Rock have come together to create something which is probably the first step into something more, I think is incredible. And I think they did a good job. I think they did a very good job of what they put together. Um, I mean, if I had only one, if I had one gripe, is the fact that leading up to the album, Common was saying that this could be within his top three of his catalog all time. I think that was a lot to put on this one, but I wish he would have waited till it came out to really, you know, figure out where does it fit. But overall, I think overall it was a good job. It was a good job. Just like you said, man, the promo has been amazing, man. I mean, like all the different platforms they hit up and they welcomed them with open arms. They showed them love, man. And even in today, just to see a guy like Pete Rock, I don't want to say he's forgotten, but you don't really hear his name come up in many conversations as far as just rap history or even just producers in that producers group. The way that people been showing him love is so phenomenal, man, and I'm glad to see he finally getting his recognition now. So I mean, just overall, I think both of these two artists needed this album, and I'm glad they came together to do something because a lot of people will say they want to do something and it never happens, or it's one or two songs as opposed to a whole album, which like I mentioned Nas, we have the Common, and now we're going to get LL and Q-Tip. They're coming later this year. So I mean, just keep the trend going. One rapper, one producer. I think it works. I think it works, and I think that's where we need to be looking forward to from here on out.
Yeah, man, that's what's up. I appreciate it. I'm telling you, I think you're right on point with that. For me, man, this been a great year, man. I know, you know, as a man of a certain age, I get down on this thing that I love called hip hop. But now that I've looked at the year so far after our last conversation about where we are this year, uh, I got a lot of hope, man. If this is the beginning of the year, I think the next 5 months are going to be amazing. Common and Pete Rock, Audit- the Auditorium, Volume One. Let me just say, if you are a fan of this thing we call hip hop, they gave you 15 tracks for 1 hour and 3 minutes. It felt like 30 minutes. It was amazing. Uh, it felt good. It made my heart feel good at the end of the day. My whole soul was just vibing. Common's lyricism is it's not heavy technical. It's not very technical, but it is rich in what it provides. It has substance to it. He's able to give you some double entendres, some punchlines, but the overall essence of what he gives you is strength, hope, encouragement, flashbacks to a time when life was good, and hope for the future. And those things are extremely important to me as a father, as a man, as someone who wants to be a part of the forward movement of his community. Some of the tracks that really put me on, man, I was just like, roll. So, my favorite track, I'm gonna go back and ask Kev what his favorite track was. My favorite track was Dreaming. And that has the sample from Aretha Franklin. And she's the queen of R&B for a reason, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I definitely like Fortunate. It was a great vibe, man. Fortunate was a very good vibe. Also was feeling Stellar. Stellar was a nice track as well. But I definitely think Dreaming and Fortunate are going to be Billboard hits, as well as there was one other cut on there. If you forgive the old man's eyes and mind when it comes to it, I'm gonna take a second to look here. Oh, the number 8 track, "A God," there is, with Jennifer Hudson. It's not going to be a mainstream, Billboard hit. But let me just tell you, if you want to feel good about music, hey, this track here, oh man, it was fulfilling. It gave me, it was, when you put food on the plate, you want something to fill you up. That track was very fulfilling to me. Um, what I did want to say before I pitch it back to Kev is that I know he had asked me on our last conversation, we were talking hip hop, that what were my favorite songs that were out so far, my favorite albums. I don't have songs. If I did say some songs, I would put this new track, this A God There Is track as far as my favorite. But again, it's not a total hit. It's not going to be on the billboards. But I thought about the albums, and again, I said Set the Tone with Ghostface Killer. I definitely think that is in my top range, but I went back and I visited. We already did Stream or No Stream for Lupe Fiasco, and Samurai, man. Samurai is possibly, I'm gonna say this: Samurai, Back in My Bag, and now Auditorium Volume 1. These three albums are going to be in Best Hip Hop Album for the bill for the Grammys this year. I have no doubt that they're going to be there. These are three quality projects. I just The tough part about it is I don't know where the Grammys would go as far as this track is concerned. These albums were concerned. So we'll leave that for another conversation. We're gonna throw it back to Kev and just jump in on the his favorite albums right now. Now that he's heard the Auditorium Volume 1, and then any other knowledge he wants to spit at y'all.
Yeah, I think we did kind of talk about that last show also. With you know, I said that Lupe and that Rhapsody are like 1 and 2 right now. They can flip flop either which way. I think this Common is a strong contender. Uh, for that top 5 of the year so far. Surprisingly, I'm gonna give you something that you might not expect me to say, but JT from City Girls, man. I've been playing that one all weekend, man. I enjoyed that one a lot. I hope Megan Thee Stallion listens to this album and studies it, because this is what I feel like Megan should borrow from what JT just did for her next album. Because the one she just put out, I don't think is as good as this JT album. I'm really enjoying that. Um, Juicy J has been putting out. Juicy J just did like 2 albums this year. Oh man, it got some hits on it, man. I think like both albums got some really good songs on it. Um, like my song of the year so far is Juicy J and Project Pat. Yeah, I play that one on the regular, man. As this, I've always been a big Project Pat fan, and just to kind of hear him in 2024 on something new, I think it just made me, brings me a lot of joy. So that right there, and I think and of course, what we're gonna talk about next. that might be that. I think that's gonna be song of the year. I'll be honest with you. Right now, that's song of the year. Right now, I know "Not Like Us" is really popping, and "Not Like Us" is a classic. "Not Like Us" is getting to the. It's unfair to put it on a list category, so that's why I'm not putting "Not Like Us" as song of the year because it's over that. You know what I'm saying? "Not Like Us" is just beyond at this point, and I think that we have to start considering realistic songs at this point. So yeah, our next song, it's the next topic. I think for me is a strong contender for song of the year. But
All
yeah,
right. And on that Juicy J track you were talking about, was that Money Flipper with Project Pat?
yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed that track as well. I haven't really delved into it heavy, and I might revisit it. It makes it. I'm always afraid of artists putting out multiple projects in the first half of the year. You know, I'm just like, wow.
Uh I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. And Currency did this a lot. Currency kind of he fell victim to that a few times. Um I think the thing with Currency that Juicy J doesn't fall into that trap of is that Juicy J takes different avenues. Like it feels like Currency. It feels like when he drops like 2-3 albums a year,
Hmm.
it feels like he recorded 30 songs within a close period of time, and he's just kind of dishing out bodies of work. With Juicy J, I think that his work it feels different. It feels like he might have recorded an album 3 weeks in January, and then he recorded another album in the month of July or something. It has different vibes, or the settings, or the people that was around him. It just feels different. Like what he did a few weeks back and compared to what he just did recently, they feel different to me. They feel very, very different to me. Somebody else might have a different opinion, but to me, it just feels different. And I think that like I said with Pete Rock, when we talk about talented producers, Juicy J is one of those guys that kind of goes under the radar, man. 3 6 Mafia as a whole kind of goes under the radar, and it's and I think that's kind of more what we're going to talk about later. It kind of it just sucks, you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is when the market is flooded, and the way rap is set up now, a lot of one hit wonders could push other people out. So, um, for Common and Pete Rock to be two guys over the age of 40 and can command so much attention and receive a lot of positive feedback before the album drop and after the album drop, I think is amazing. And I think we have to give credit to rap fans as a whole because they couldn't have did all this publicity if rap fans young and old didn't feed into them. You know what I mean? And it's hard today for older rappers to kind of, I don't want to say it's hard for older rappers to get accepted by the younger crowd. And Common and Pete Rock have done a good job at doing that.
The real deal, Holy Phil. Appreciate that. It's that time, party people, and we're gonna hit you with our opinions on our stream or no stream. I'm gonna start this one off and say, if you love this thing we call hip hop, feel me now. It is definitely a stream. For me, it is a stream. It is a vibe. It will get you. It will. You put that food on your plate. You're gonna be full at the end. Kev.
Oh, it's a definite for me also. I was, what I like I said, it's great to see a talented, legendary producer like Pete Rock receive a lot of recognition or receive his flowers, as they say. It's a stream for me. It's a stream for me. I was surprised at some of the samples, like you mentioned. What was it, Aretha or Patti LaBelle sample you mentioned?
Yeah, Aretha
Um,
was on the Dreaming track.
yeah, and there was a few other samples that they used that like shocked me, man. I was totally surprised that Pete would kind of go down the avenue, but he has a great ear that kind of gets underrated. So, shout out to him, shout out to Common for even taking time out of his life to do this whole thing with Pete.
Yeah, that's what's
The
up.
stream.
Yes, stream it is. And with that, all right, party people. And that was our stream or no stream of Auditorium Volume 1 by Common and Pete Rock.